Welcome to TiffDoesLoans podcast. Today I have Diego Clavel.
How's it going, everyone?
You?
Pretty good. How about you?
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Thank you for coming.
Yep.
So Diego, we have met at an event. Diego is with the Power Real Estate Group and Fix and Flipper in California. So we're definitely going to highlight that because a lot of people have held back a little bit.
Yeah,
so
right.
Want to know your secrets. And also he helps also mentoring and educating and helping newer investors, get those off-market deals and, get their strategies aligned so they can grow even in this tricky market. So I definitely, saw that in you and just wanted to have you on here. So thanks again for coming. And why don't you just start by telling us, starting with your journey, like how did you get into real estate? And I know you're an agent, but you also do a lot of like fix and flip. So how did you kind of lean into that niche?
Okay,
Well,
thank you so much for having me in the first place, right? Thank you so much. I'm kind of excited. This, I was telling you, this is my second podcast.
Let's go.
We'll see how it goes, right?
Thank you for choosing TiffDoesLoans.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I started as an agent. Well, originally, I was a mechanic out of high school and stuff like that.
Wow,
and then I ended up hurting my back like in 2015, 2016 and stuff like that. So I had some time in my hand.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get into real estate like in high school and stuff like that, but I never just pulled the trigger. After that happened, I had a lot of time in my hand.
Yeah.
I started going to events, started talking to agents and investors and stuff like that. So I just started really getting into it. Yeah. My first mentor, I was doing a lot of the wholesaling. I do a lot of I'm doing fix and flip now, but before it was just mainly wholesaling.
Just wholesale.
Yeah, just wholesaling. I started wholesaling in 2019. I've been wholesaling up till 2024.
Okay.
And we started doing flips last year, more flips last year. I did one flip in 2023, but mainly we started ramping it up last year and started getting more flips that way. But yeah, I just got in as an agent, started working as an agent and stuff like that. But, the investing side is what kind of excites me a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, because I think too with investing, I don't know. I mean, it's just you in the house, like not as much. Like the agent is going to be a little more on the emotional side. Like
exactly. And me is a numbers game, right? If the numbers make sense, we'll make it work or whatever that is. So
I feel like a lot of the guys, like investors that I talk to, it's just even on this podcast, it's usually like.
Yeah,
like
right.
Numbers.
No, yeah,
Numbers,
I worked on properties that I never saw the house or I never went to the house or anything like that. We kind of just run the numbers.
But
the numbers
an
make sense.
emotional buy.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a difference, with like being a real estate agent and residential. It's emotional and you got to like be there. Yep. You're also like a support line.
Yeah. And that's the advantage of having your license as well there too. Cause I know a lot of wholesalers that just only wholesale and that's all they do. And me as being an agent as well there too, I kind of know that side as well there too. So I come in with options, right? I don't just go, hey, I'll buy your house and that's it, right? Yeah. It's more like, what do you need? What are you looking for? What is your situation? Or how could I help you with this? This is an option we have. If you don't like this option, we could do this or we could do that, right? So it's another, tool in my tool belt.
I like having both too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I mean, commercial is always nice, and they are more the emotion's not in it. It's more numbers. If the numbers make sense, the deal's going to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's right there. There's not going to be very many surprises because they've already they've looked at the property. Yep. They already kind of have an idea of what's going to come up on every inspection or, what have you. They've already done all the research.
Yep.
But then when it comes to the residential, I still love being that walking them through. Too.
Yeah.
So
it is definitely more rewarding. I feel like because the first time home buyers, like you help them out, they're so excited.
I work a lot with veterans.
Yeah. So, and I did it before as well. Too. I work with some buyers. It's definitely more rewarding. They love you for what you did for walking them through the process. Yeah.
And then you can kind of build that relationship to where they'll come to you for other things because it is a process and an emotional buy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're like hanging out with them for it could be months.
Yeah, I have had some that were for months. I knew everybody in their family. They knew my family. They had me for dinner and stuff like that.
And you become friends. So I feel like, that it could be really rewarding, but I see like both sides.
No, yeah, for sure.
So into like so you've been wholesaling consistently.
Yeah, since 2019.
That's something that you're going to keep.
Yeah.
How is that going? So we'll start with wholesaling. But in this market, like what type of pivots or things have you had to make in this tricky market with the wholesaling?
Yeah, definitely 2023 was a little bit tougher, but we still got some deals done and stuff like that. But yeah, just adjusting on your numbers, right? Just being more conservative on your numbers and going a little bit lower than before and stuff like that. I mean, there's still deals out there. You just got to, figure out the market. And it's about marketing, right? A lot of people stop marketing and stuff like that. We just kept going on marketing.
Just kept mailers and stuff?
We have a lot of, we have cold callers. We have about 4 cold callers that are cold calling for us. We do mailers. We do a lot of online marketing as well, like Facebook ads and PPC ads and stuff like that. So a lot of them are coming from.
I just had heard that the wholesaling, like a couple of years ago, I think we were talking about 2021.
Okay.
So were you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was already in. I've been wholesaling since 2019.
People were, but 2021 was wild because everybody's just putting so much over. So that's when you're like, okay, now it's a bit different. You have to adjust those numbers that you're probably not going to get.
Sure. And I got in before the pandemic and all that. Like I said, I've been in real estate since 2017 or so. I started getting a few deals here 2018, but it really ramped up in 2019. 2020, everybody got in. Everybody was out, But now a lot of those people that got in 2020, they're no longer in the business as well there too. So that's kind of happened as well there.
So
and definitely got tough in 2023. It's just us. We just kept marketing. And with the team that we have right now, we have 150 agents. That's kind of been an advantage for us too, because a lot of those agents bring us deals and stuff like that as well there too.
Under the Power Real
Estate. Power Real Estate.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm one of the partners at Power Real Estate as well there too. So I run a team there as well.
I feel like that's very high. That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot of agents.
Yeah, we have. We're trying to get to 300. So if you guys want to join our team, hit us up. Right. So we're trying to get to 300 in the next year or so.
And that's amazing too, because the drop off that has been. But there's also been a lot new in agents too. But the drop off, I feel like significantly happened in the last year and a half.
Definitely.
So for you guys to still keep that 150 is amazing, and everybody needs to check them out.
Yeah, come and check us out. Yeah, we're trying to get to 300. We do have 3 offices right now, one in Riverside, Anaheim, and Whittier.
Wow. Okay, I'm from Whittier.
Yeah, so let us know if you guys want to check us out.
Okay. And into the fix and flip. So you guys started this more last year.
Yes.
So what kind of brought that on for you guys to, did you put a little on wholesale?
No, it's still wholesaling. Everything starts with wholesaling, right? Wholesaling, that's how you start marketing, getting these deals coming in, these leads coming in and stuff like that. So you could decide, right? Do I want to wholesale it? Do I want to keep it? Should I list it? So you could pretty much have different exit strategies for that. So everything starts with wholesaling regardless. We're still marketing as we're wholesalers, but now we get to pick and choose, right? Okay, I'll keep this one. I'll wholesale this one out. Or she wants a little bit too much. Let me try to help her list it or whatever that is, right? So everything starts with wholesaling, but we have different exit strategies.
Depending on what's the scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And then last year is just something we've always wanted to do is get into fix and flip and stuff like that. We've been working with the partner that we've had a relationship for a while. So we got the finances in place. We got the contractors in place. So we're like, all right, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. We did really well. We're about to close on our 5th one, but we might be breaking even, maybe possibly losing on that one as well there too. So they're not all pretty, but it happens, right?
But that's still really good odds, 1 out of 5, maybe if you, and you're not even taking a loss, you're just breaking even.
Yeah, we're breaking even. We might take a little bit of a loss, but it's kind of getting there,
I feel like in this market, that's still breaking even is you're good. You're in a really good position. And then when you're looking for, in this market, with the higher prices and the even construction costs, everything has gone up. So I know a lot of people have maybe limited it, what they're fix and flipping out here. Are there key strategies that you guys use, or how do you pick the property to ensure you only had one that might break even, one out of 5.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but the other ones were all super solid.
Yeah, the other ones were pretty solid. One of them we just made a little bit. I would say 3 were really good. The other ones are, they're okay. One we might be breaking even, like I said. But the first 3 were really good.
How do you pick the locations and stuff?
We market all over Southern California. Like I said, once the leads come in, that's when we pick and choose, right? If it's in San Diego, I might just wholesale it out a little bit too far for us.
Yeah.
But if it's in our neighborhood, like Anaheim or, Orange County, we might just keep that and,
Then
try to.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Or if the numbers are really good, I might go to San Diego,
Okay. Oh, okay, perfect.
But yeah, it's just we try to stay local and stuff like that for our fix and flips. We wholesale everywhere, right?
Okay.
But for our fix and flips, we try to stay within under an hour or so and stuff like that. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then what would be like that main out of the strategy, like what would be the main benefit out here of fix and flipping in like LA, Orange County?
LA, I would say the numbers are bigger. Yeah, definitely.
So like bigger payouts.
Yeah, bigger spreads and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just
in
harder.
Orange County?
Orange County and LA have bigger spreads. It's just, more competition, I guess you could say. It's a little bit harder to get these deals because we get a lot of stuff, i.e., San Bernardino, like those areas that are under 500,000 or whatever that may be. Those do really well. Orange County, you're looking at over $1 million and stuff like that. Which the one we're breaking even is Orange County. Which the numbers looked really well, but after it's been sitting on the market for quite a while, the price point is pretty high. It's up in the $2 million. So there's not the same amount of buyers there is for a $1 million house or whatever that is. So it's been sitting for about 6 months.
Right now. I've been going out there.
Yeah, so that was Orange County. Yeah, definitely has the bigger spreads and stuff like that. It's just we weren't too conservative on those numbers where we should have been. But
and then so with what's going on right now, kind of to go into the market a little bit, and from your agent perspective, so. I don't know about you, but I feel it's definitely been a little slower because we're like on an election year. People are still, even now, new administration is in, things are starting to get done. I feel like the mindsets are going to slowly start to change and open up, start making moves. But I still feel like there's some pause because of the, unknown and the changes and things like that. So how have you kind of been guiding in that sense, like to your buyers?
Well, it definitely has slowed down since that time, and I feel that's why with this property in Orange County, we're kind of not making as much, or we're breaking even on it, because we ended up purchasing this property. I think end of September.
Okay,
that's when all the elections were happening, so a lot of people weren't, there wasn't that much traction on it. So now that it's in the new year, it's already been sitting there for 6 months, and people are like still waiting to see kind of what's going to happen.
That's
at first it was like, let's wait for the election. Now let's wait for the holidays.
Let's wait for and then the 20th.
Exactly.
And then now it's like, okay, we're just gonna wait.
So it's definitely, but I see it picking up here in the next month or so. Like even now, you could kind of start seeing it already. But definitely, I feel like this year's going to be pretty good. So we'll see what happens.
I think so. I'm an optimist too. I feel like you have to be. If I met an agent or somebody in real estate that wasn't an optimist. I mean, I just don't see it.
Exactly.
I don't see you surviving.
No, for sure.
Because you definitely needed it. Yeah.
And the good thing about wholesaling or flipping or anything like that, you could pretty much do it in any market. It doesn't matter, as long as the numbers make sense, right? Just kind of going back to the numbers, it's all about the numbers, right? So the market could go down. We just got to get more down on our numbers as well there too.
100%. And so have you gone anywhere out of state?
Yes, I've done a few in North Carolina and Ohio and Vegas.
Fix and flip?
No, wholesaling.
Wholesale.
Okay. Yeah, fix and flip of only Southern California.
Only here, because you want to be close to the jobs.
Exactly.
The contractors. Make sure they're getting the work done.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why when going back and choosing which one, like when we wholesale and stuff like that, all right, we're gonna keep this one. We might wholesale this one out because it's way too far.
Do you guys hold any?
Not yet. No, I haven't been holding any, but I've been looking in other states.
Other states, see, that's usually the method there.
Yeah.
To get do the wholesaling. What I see a lot is, so if you agree with it, but wholesale fix and flip out here, so you can get the bigger faster
the income
returns, and then buy and holds in some of the other states. So then you get that little bit of cash flow.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And how are you? Okay, so we don't have really any rate cuts fully on the horizon.
Yeah.
But how
We've been
are
waiting
you?
for them.
Yeah. I'm waiting very hard for them. Yeah, because we had that little dip, which was nice. So I feel like I still got to have a lot of conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're still a little far from it. But how are you guiding? Do you have what are you seeing now? Are you seeing sellers and buyers kind of waiting, or how do you?
Definitely a lot of sellers that have that good interest rate. None of them want to move or sell or anything like that. I have been seeing that. Buyers that have been getting more into the market. With us, our strategy is it's time to buy now.
Yeah.
Because when the interest rates go down, then it's going to be a lot tougher to get in there. Yeah.
It's going to go up.
Yeah, same thing has happened in 2020, right? During the pandemic, because then they were getting 100 offers per properties, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I told them that too. If you're a cookie cutter buyer, and that what I mean by that is if you have, you have perfect credit and you have a lot of assets, then the market won't be as shifting for you and you'll probably be fine. But if you're anywhere in some of the government loans or maybe don't have as much cash at hand, then when the rates do come down, I think it's almost like an opposite result.
Yeah. For sure.
You're going to get the opposite of what you were kind of planning for.
Yeah, expecting, right?
Yeah. And I feel like I keep hearing that people think that the prices are going to go down. Yeah. So can you...
I don't see it happening either. They've been saying that for a while as well, too. Yeah. I don't see it happening. I mean, if interest rates go down, I'm pretty sure the market's going to start picking up and stuff, right? I mean, as long as they don't go, much higher than they are now, I don't see it happening. But
yeah.
Nobody really knows until it happens, right? We'll see.
Know. Yeah. And into so you also mentor and educate.
Yep.
So what kind of inspired you to do that and just kind of extend on that?
Well, more just a lot of newer agents because when I started, I needed a mentor and stuff like that. There was a lot of people I tried reaching out, and there was a few guys that helped me out that really helped me out a lot and got me pretty much going in my business and stuff like that. So I like to help out more newer agents or newer investors and stuff like that. I'm not a mentor that I'm mentoring people or anything like that, but just I do help out a lot of the newer agents and new wholesalers and stuff like that, and it helps me out too, right? If I could teach them how to do this, they might bring me a deal as well there too, right?
Yeah.
So I do that a lot. I probably do classes once or twice a month. Just on how to get off-market deals and how to find these deals.
I want to extend on that. So with the off-market deals, I did see that you put a class kind of together, right? Yep. Where is the class at?
At our office in Anaheim.
Okay, in Anaheim. Yep. And so what are the key strategies that you kind of go through with them?
Just market research, what we're doing as far as pulling data, how do we market to this? Because everything starts with market research, right? Yeah. Where are you going to market to? What is the hottest markets, right? Where are you going to be targeting areas and stuff like that? Once you figure that out, now you need data, right? Data is pulling for sale by owners, foreclosures, probates, anybody that's in those type of situations or absentee owners, whatever that may be. It's just pulling data, right, from those areas that you're trying to locate. Once you get that data, then you want to start marketing to them, right? And then after you market to them, you need systems and processes for the leads when they start coming in and pretty much have a closer to close.
Do you guys help with the systems and process and stuff? Okay, so you kind of give them
I give them everything from the beginning to the end, right? First you start off with market research, then it goes into data, then it goes into marketing and systems and processes and closing out the deal and disposition. I pretty much go through everything. I give out everything pretty much.
I love that. That's how I feel like I am too.
I mean, a lot of this information you could get out there, you know what I'm saying? It's about taking action, right? Because I could give you everything and you might not do anything with it.
100%. But you have to execute on it still.
Yeah, exactly.
And create that. Yeah, I'm really big on creating the structure or, just I'm pretty disciplined at this point. So, but I feel like you can get the information, but if you're not having that, if you have a bunch of goals, but you don't have the vehicles lined up that are going to get you there, then they're pretty empty.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've gotten some, is it workout training videos?
Yeah.
I never got to them. So, that happens. You can get all the information you want, but, sometimes
if
you don't
actually, you can have the video, but if you don't actually do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And what do you do any of that? So you're very optimistic, and I see your vibe, and like everything is positive. So what are do you do any like mindset focus?
Yeah, definitely. I worked out. That's actually what's helped me out a lot, like self-development and stuff like that. Because, you know, just kind of growing up, I never had none of that stuff. So, I would say like in my 20s is when I really started getting into books and self-development and stuff like that.
Mine was my 30s.
Yeah. But, you know, that definitely helps me out. You know, it's all about mindset, you know, stuff like that. Because I see people they always think negative, and, you know, it doesn't work out, and they just blame people and stuff like that. But I think if you work on yourself, everything turns out pretty good. It's like
that investment in yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And even I started my like journey within 3 years ago. So that's when, but I'm in mid 30s now. So mine came a little later. Yeah. But that's what I tell people, you know, it doesn't matter the time, but it's whenever you're ready to commit.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You know, it's like making that commitment, building that structure, or like seeing what vehicles that
exactly.
You
it's
know,
never too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely.
No, I love your vibe. Yeah, and I think that's great that you give this information to the newer investors, and you're not like charging them. Like,
I just give them everything.
Host it.
I just host it. You know, usually a lot of the times, a lot of these guys, I teach them everything that I know, and they pretty much bring me a deal as well. There too. So it works out.
So it's like, and that's perfect. That's all you need in this.
Yeah, exactly.
In this part. And what would you say right now, so coming into this year, how everything is looking, would you say that this is a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit more of a buyer's market right now.
Okay.
You know, so
and why?
I would say because there's more opportunity. Right now, we've been getting a lot more opportunities this month and stuff like that than we were last year. We just seen picking up more sellers are, be more realistic on their price. Yeah. Before it was like, oh no, I'm not going. My house is worth this much. My house is worth this much. Now they're a little bit more realistic on their price and stuff like that, where you come in and get a pretty good deal. And more
like houses are sitting more, right?
Yeah, so exactly. That's another thing.
They're going to have more negotiations.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, mine's been 6 months, and you know, I might just be like, I'll take that.
And I try to tell I tell my clients that I'm like, look, I know that everyone's kind of on the sidelines. But I always tell them, like, just, you know, while you're scrolling, just scroll through on a regular basis while you're pre-approved. Because if something comes up, you know, we're more likely to get maybe some negotiations with the seller credits or, you know.
And a lot of sellers are giving credit because we get that a lot. Every house that we submit an offer, we ask for some type of credit. Yeah. And they pretty much, you know, end up saying yes.
And they've been doing it. Yeah. But I'm like, I tell them, like, if these rates go down even like more, like a half a point or more, they are not going to be giving those seller credits.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Then they're going to be hiking it up. So instead of giving you anything, now they're going to be like, no.
That's why it's always best to get in now, right? So when that does happen, you're already pretty much in there.
Yeah, 100%. And then what do you see? So looking ahead kind of this year, like for the Power Real Estate Group, for your fix and flips, what are some aspirations there?
Definitely, like I was telling you, we do want to get to 300 agents. So we're trying to get to 300 agents there.
How do you kind of pick them?
Just as long as they align with what we're heading to, you know, stuff like that. We do a lot of training in our office. We like new agents, you know, because they kind of get the new systems and technology. There's a lot of technology right now, AI, you know, and things like that. So a lot of that we use at our office. So there's a lot of tech staff in our office. So some of the seasoned agents can't catch up to that when we bring them in and stuff like that.
Well, not to say that don't, you know, want to.
Yeah, exactly.
So. It's not that they can't.
It's just
they're choosing.
They're still in their old ways sometimes, and you know, things like that. So we target a lot of newer agents. We like to see, you know, 20-year-olds.
They know, but they also see it, like they see it on Instagram. They see it on TikTok or social media, where like I could have no followers, and then I could have 50,000. Like, you know, and I feel like, but they kind of grew up with that, and they kind of see, they might even know somebody that actually does it. Or, you know, or like the podcast is,
exactly.
This would be definitely like a pivot.
And that's one of my goals too, to get more into these podcasts, get more into social media, things like that. Soon. Yeah, definitely. I got you. But yeah, I would say that, a lot of the younger guys, they get it. They're online, they're on social media, they're showing their tours, they're doing all this. We have 20-year-olds that are closing, 3-4 deals a month and stuff like that. So
wow.
So that's what we like. We like to see these guys and stuff
and
like that.
I just saw, and I don't know, you probably follow along better, but I just saw a statistic that said 74% of real estate agents closed zero last year.
Yes,
does that sound about right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe we saw the same reel. I think I follow some.
No, and it is true, right? A lot of that happens, and some agents been in the business for a while and they haven't closed anything. When they come to us and they tell us, "Well, I needed this, I didn't get this support." I think and
a lot of it fell on support. See, ours was the opposite, and I feel like the ones that I see striving are the ones that leaned in to the culture. And the culture of like education and support and like taking the time to like, hey, let's dive into social media. Let's dive into like AI tools.
Exactly.
And if you get together as a team, because I know mine, even though it's been really tough, we definitely did the education route together. We started getting together more. We put private chats together, and like there's motivation going in at like 7 in the morning. There's like there's quotes and like, hey, it's
that's what we're getting all day too.
You need to keep looking ahead. but those, like, the belief of a team is going to be, I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if you're a newer agent, I always recommend to start with the team, because you learn everything and you get all the support. They literally, walk you through the whole process and stuff like that. Once you get going, then you can kind of branch off on your own and stuff like that. But I would recommend starting with them.
With you guys, it's not just even being an agent. Like, you guys also are like fix and flipping, but like wholesaling, like you're very knowledgeable in these aspects that even if the sales are down on, the retailer, the agent side, you're giving them tools to like, okay, look, you can still feed your family this way.
You can
like,
do this.
Like you're giving them more options and, like, look, one day the agent part is going to hit again. It always does. We're going to come back. So we don't know when, but it'll be soon. I feel it too. It'll be a flow again. But until then, I love that culture and you just giving them more options.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And when you are, just this final question here, when you are advising, what are your top 3, I guess, advice to the newer investors coming in?
Being consistent, I think that's the main thing. Some people might, like I said, if I tell you, well, you could start cold calling. That's the cheapest way to get in. It's cold calling, I would say, because if you want to do marketing as far as online marketing, mailers, it gets a little bit expensive, right? Especially if you're starting out, you might not have that budget. So I usually tell pretty much the newer wholesalers or investors, start with cold calling, or maybe even start door knocking, put some sweat equity in there, right? Or start door knocking or cold calling
is like, it's nervous, like you're nervous.
And that's how I started my business, is all through cold calling. I was literally cold calling myself, and then I got a VA. Then my VA started cold calling with me. Then I got a few more VAs, and now I don't cold call at all. I mean, it's been years since I cold called, but I started cold calling. That's if you really.
I mean, it is good. I've had some great hits with it. Like even I cold called this guy in up north, and now. He was he was a realtor, not just, so then we started like talking.
Oh, okay.
And then, a year later, he brought me like a big deal. So now I'm helping raise capital for a project. And
exactly.
I'm the preferred lender. So, and he's like, how did we meet? I'm like, I cold called you. And he's like, that's amazing.
And a lot of my first business, that's how I got, is just straight through cold calling.
Straight cold calling.
And I think that's why I got so good at sales, I guess I would say, just so good on the phone. I literally cold called for a few years straight, just cold calling every single day.
I started out at a big lender, but it was I I talked to a lot of people like that,
Yep.
but no, I didn't have to cold call them. Like,
okay. Yep.
They called.
They already inquired for something.
Yeah, so that's like an I don't know what they call it, but
yeah, inbound.
Inbound. There you go.
Yep.
And but it was still like. Sometimes it was like a sweatshop, you know, like it would take like 10 to 15 new leads.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't.
No, and when I started, I was the same way too. I was like, I don't know what to say, and I just hung up. But after a while, you start getting it and start getting it.
Have you like hung up?
Yeah. When I first started, like when I first started cold calling, I was like,
funny.
I don't know what to say, so I just hung up. But you start that way. Now it's like literally sometimes they'll give me a lead. Hey, this guy wants to probably sell his house. I don't even look at the notes. Just get on there. Hey, how's it going? And because I gotten so good from the experience and stuff like that.
That's funny though. Yeah. I think I've hung up once. Or like when you leave a terrible voicemail. They haunt you forever.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, and then what were the other? I think we got stuck on cold call. What was it?
Just as far as being consistent, like I was telling you, I usually tell agents to start doing some of this, and they'll cold call one day, and then they won't cold call for a week, and then might cold call another day, and then won't cold call for another while.
Randomly.
It's just being consistent, right? Because I mean, for me, my first deal ever took me probably like 7 months to get my first deal. But of me being consistent, you know what I'm saying? And just not giving up and stuff like that. And
just to hear those stories, because even when I went on my own, somebody planted this seed in my mind that like, oh, it will probably take like 3 months.
Yep.
Okay, but what about, what happens to your mental state when it's 3 months and there is nothing? And then now you're at 6 months.
Yeah.
And now you're like, okay, wait. There's something wrong, because why, 3, 6, and then it's like, and as you keep going, and then it just gets harder because now you're like looking for a deal. So I wish somebody would have told me in the beginning, like really help set that expectation.
Yeah.
Like, look, it took me 7 months. It could take you a year. It could take this.
Yeah.
And part of like a really good, an entrepreneur that trains, like I see that in them where they're setting expectations, far out.
For sure. Yeah, and it does get you going back to that mindset, right? Once it's been 6 months and you're not getting nothing,
because then
and
now
you're like,
up. Now you're getting up like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah. Is it me? What is it?
Like, it's me.
Because
I should have had this figured out. Yeah. And apparently I would only be struggling for 3 months.
Yeah.
But then when you're like at a year or like a year and a half and you're like, but then when you really start diving in, like I really, in that first year too, I really surrounded myself with like nothing but like motivation and like nothing but audiobooks of like successful people. I listened to all their stories and most of them were like, I didn't get a deal for 2 years. Like I didn't make money in my business for 5 years. Like, and you see them now and you start to really listen to their stories. Nobody that successful made it in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, and if you are doing really well in 3 months, odds are you kind of got lucky.
Yeah.
And eventually, somewhere you're going to have to now do the climb.
Yeah.
So
and we've had that, before too, where a new agent comes in and they immediately get a deal, and they're like so excited,
and then
like,
can't. It's even harder to come back.
And then they're like, I think
now you're like, I'm not good enough. Yeah. Like it's going to hit them hard.
Yeah.
Like, in the morning.
No, yeah, and I have seen that before. Yeah.
And now they think that they lost it when really, like, you probably shouldn't have had it in the first place.
Yeah. Or you should have just kept on going, right? And just being consistent.
But then they kind of let go of.
They're like, this is easy. I got this, right?
Yeah, that's when you start chilling. Yeah. I'm just going to stay up a little late tonight. Yeah. I'm going to go out an extra day. And now you didn't do your calls. Yeah, like now you didn't do, And sometimes it's like, well, we always say too, like, go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because even like, especially when you start winning.
Yep.
It's like, if you stop making those calls, then, it's going to stop coming in.
Yeah. And that's what happens once you start getting a lot of deals, you start kind of neglecting some of those other stuff.
But I mean, you did
it
smart because then you transferred over
Yeah, to a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was cold calling for probably 2 years straight, just me, on the phones 2 years straight, and I locked up a lot of deals that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start getting burnt out after a while. You're like, all right, this is too much cold calling or whatever that may be. So I just started hiring.
It's harder to cold call now.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, but 2019, 2020, I was doing really good on it. Yeah.
Well, how do you guys kind of get around that with the cold calling now?
Well, since that's barely coming in this year, we're working on something right now as far as for the DNCs and stuff like that. We're still not there, but we're working on it this year to see how we can figure that out.
Yeah, because I feel like I have a CRM that will kind of scrub them if I get a third.
And we have that as well there too. But we're trying to find other ways. I believe we're trying to do some marketing where they can
email them
as long as they sign the disclosure with you or stuff like that. We can get them in there. So that's what we're trying to figure out how we could do that. Implement that with maybe our when we send out properties or when we send out some type of marketing where that's in there as well.
Nice. Like, hey, we're going to cold call you.
Yeah. Or just as long as there's a little disclosure on there.
In the fine print.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure it out. We're still
said we could cold call you every day.
No, definitely.
3 years.
And we're also getting a lot more into inbound leads. So we're doing a lot of Facebook marketing, PPC and stuff like that.
Yep.
And what might happen is we might slow down the cold calling and just ramp up the inbound as well.
Yeah.
So we're still in the beginning stages of that and trying to figure out.
But your main thing is Facebook?
Facebook and Google Ads. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard
those are
Google
doing pretty
Ads.
Good. Yep. Facebook is doing pretty good, actually. It does.
Facebook is really good, but again, I feel like Facebook is a bit overwhelming for me because there's so many groups.
Yes.
And now I'm a part of like a million real estate groups.
Yeah, me too.
And I just, I'm like, how do I? And then I posted a deal in there once, and someone's like, this is your only. They're like, okay, well, you posted your one deal. I was like, forever.
Yeah.
Can I only post one deal in these things? So
some of the groups, I believe they have rules and stuff like that.
Yep.
We do more like paid advertising and stuff like that. So we have a Facebook guy. He does Facebook ads and stuff like that, but we do more paid advertising where it could put the ad in front of the seller or buyer or whatever that may be there. Yep.
And I feel like, I've done a couple on Instagram, but now I just mainly do the reels.
No, yeah. Okay.
But, all right. Well, thank you, Diego, so much for coming in. Everybody, I'm going to have all their information below if you are looking to fix and flip, wholesale, if you need an agent, or if you are looking to start your new journey as an agent. They already have 150 and growing. Yep. And also
we're looking for new agents as well.
They guide, and this is the type of culture that if you are new, this would be a great place to start and learn how to grow your business. So thank you so much for coming. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will have all that below.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks. And thank you, Tiffany, for having me here.